The journey has been amazing for me, if I can say that in one word. I made some very good friends during that time. I'm sure you must be having similar times with your friends. I graduated in 2013 and I joined a tech firm where I worked for almost 6 years in the tech industry. I worked for different firms starting with Infogain India, then I worked for Newgen Software Technologies, and that's when I decided that I want to move to US for pursuing my MBA. For me, the most important thing, first of all, was I was always clear that I want to do an MBA, and that was even during my time at the UIET. At the time, from 2009 to 13, I started preparing for CAT in 2012, actually, yeah, in the third year of my MBA. So I joined Bullseye at that time, and I was like, okay, I decided to come to engineering school, but I'm probably going to do some years in tech sector, but probably I'm more inclined towards the MBA. So it was always there in my mind. At that time, took Bullseye and I took CAT. I didn't get a very good score. I ended up having, I think, 90 percentile at that time. But the kind of schools I was looking at didn't match my profile. So I ended up joining the tech industry instead. So first of all, I didn't take the exam again. GMAT, once you take, it's valid for 4 years. In terms of the profile, I focused on a lot of things. Like the experience in the NGOs always helps you out. Every college is going to ask you one question or the other about that what have you been doing apart from the tech industry work. Actually, side experience is always very important, and the reason I say this is everyone does focus on the industry they are in, what kind of work they are doing. That's, I mean, the standard, the norm, that you should be working in a top rated company. It always adds points to your profile, and you should be contributing in the role. And these people are very smart, I must say. They are able to gauge that, have you actually done that experience? Are you actually making, have you actually been making difference to the world? So that is always the case. You can't easily fool them, basically. But apart from that, NGOs, and then a lot of extracurricular activities as well. They don't want a nerd, a person who has just studied. They want a person with all round experience and all round development, being, interested in the industries and everything. Yeah, I get your question. For that, I'll need to cross ask you a few questions. What do you ask? Why do you want to do an MBA? Tell me that.
For money.
For money? Okay, yeah, that's very like fair to say. But you can always make money. Do you know that if you do any other degree, and in fact, engineers are earning a lot more these days, and because you've already completed your engineering, have you ever looked at it like, if you decide to pursue an MBA, if it's only for money, I'm talking about that, you're first going to invest at least 18 to 20 lakhs in a business school, and you might have already invested some amount of money in UIT, but it's not very costly though, and you can get a job and then start working, start earning. If you go for an MBA, first of all, you'll be investing that much amount of money, and only after 2 years of your degree you will actually start earning. And then talking about the kind of college you should go to, right? So is it, it's totally very individualistic, if I can answer that in a short way, that, you know a lot of people are like, if I'm doing something, I want to do it from the best, I want to stay with the best of minds. But that should not take away anything from the people who are not doing from the best colleges. And by that I mean, if you're going to a lower ranked colleges, but you are very, dedicated towards your MBA, you can still gain a lot out of it. Like, if you're still getting an MBA degree, the things that you will not have from a smaller ranked school might be the kind of faculty that's there, the kind of job opportunities, and a lot of recruitment happens on campus. So it might be tough for you to find a job in a big firm from a smaller college, but again, if you are dedicated enough, you will be able to generate such opportunities. So I will say you need to broaden your thinking a bit. Try to understand more why you want to do an MBA. If you talk just about money, you will easily get money anywhere in any industry. There's a huge bunch of money. Are you first willing to invest 2 years of your life, which are very crucial, or is it like you are just willing to do it for the sake of everyone is doing that? So that's a tough decision. And frankly, don't feel that I am not sure why kind of a thing. But everyone goes through this phase. Explore more, try to understand, and you will have your answer by yourself. If you think that you can score a 99% in a future state, then why would you settle for a smaller college? But if you think I'm a kind of person who generally ranks around 90-92%, then be true to yourself. I talked a lot to myself. Am I a 99 percentiler? I am not. Am I a perfect guy to crack a CAT exam? I was not, frankly. If you decide to give a CAT exam, and then you can directly, after your graduation from UIT, you can directly join them, and you'll be in a good situation to pursue your MBA. You will learn the MBA skills, but you won't get the kind of experience that I talked about in the last slide, if you remember. For example, I was a board member. I'm currently serving as a board member. I'm working on a startup idea. I'm working with different firms right now on projects. There must be tie-ups among IMs. I'm sure they have some very good tie-ups. For example, during the executive MBA, I did do a research that they have a good tie-ups with government organizations, and you get to experience very good things over there. But apart from that, there is not a whole lot of things that you get to do over there. So the biggest difference is in the kind of experience that you have. But moving ahead, the culture and the kind of classmates that you have. In UIT, all of you are Indians, right? All of you might be from different states. Some of you might be from UP, Maharashtra, Punjab, or anywhere else, right? But when I talk about MBA abroad, especially in US, there will be people from almost every continent, if not all countries. I have people from Japan, China, Australia, Russia, Spain, but then Peru, Africa, all countries, and a lot of them. So if you want to have that kind of experience, if you are looking to grow in the personality, you will definitely get the MBA skills from both the schools. But the kind of personality development that happens in an international US school is very different. Right now, if I'm talking to all kinds of people, I'm the kind of person who also likes to understand different cultures. So I'm one day I'm hanging out with my Japanese and Chinese friends, so I get to know what their culture is. I'm hanging out with the American friends. It actually helps me understand, okay, what their thought process is. Similarly, Africans and the South Americans have very different mindset. You get to experience that. You get to know that, okay, probably all of the us Indians might be having very similar kind of mindset and the way we look at the things. For me, my understanding of MBA was always about getting that kind of exposure and that kind of experience that broadens my mindset, trying to understand different kinds of personality. Here, Nalin, Kapish, Rhythm all might have a different personality, but I would never go into that detail. If I was a classmate with them, I would just be hanging out with them. But when you come to international school, it's very different setup that at times you are not able to understand the accent. So you need to more personally understand what they are saying and why they are saying, most importantly.